Okay. So picture this. You're a writer, trying to work on your new novel with spirituality. You conduct a seance or ritual to conjure up the dead spirit for research purpose and boom, your dead wife suddenly reappears in your living room. Sounds chaotic, right? My name is Harimurti and today I will tell you what is exactly happened in Blithe Spirit, a comedic play by Noel. Alright, so the story kicks off with Charles Condamine. This very successful novelist. He decides to hold a seance or ritual at his house. It's not just for fun, rather to get some inspiration for his new book. And then enter Madame Arcady, a quirky, eccentric medium who's, let's just say, not your average fortune teller. Now, Charles doesn't really believe in all this spiritual stuff. Neither does his current wife, Ruth. They're just having a laugh, inviting some friends over, lighting some candles. It's all supposed to be a harmless fun gathering. But things take a wild turn when Madame Arcady actually summoned the spirit of Elvira, Charles' first wife. And here's the kicker. Elvira's ghost doesn't plan on leaving anytime soon. She's still as cheeky and mischievous as ever, and guess what? Charles is the only one who can see or hear her. And now you can imagine the awkwardness. You've got your current wife right here, and then suddenly your ex, who's supposed to be, dead, is floating around throwing sarcastic remarks. Poor Charles is stuck in the middle of these two strong-willed women and it's absolute madness. Elvira, of course, wants Charles back. She misses him, but Ruth, well, she's not having any of it. Let's be real, who would? As the story goes on, Elvira tries to sabotage Charles' life and, oh, you better ready for this, she even tries to bring him to the afterlife with her. Ruth, meanwhile, is trying to figure out what the heck is going on with her husband, who seems to be losing his mind because he's talking to a thin air. Well, because Charles is the only person who can clearly see Elvira, aforementioned. The real charm of Blithe Spirit is how it turns what could be a scary situation being haunted into something absurdly funny. The characters' reactions are so over the top, but in a way that feels so real. Like, you totally get why Ruth is frustrated and why Charles is stressed, but you can't help but laugh at the whole thing. Things get even crazier when Elvira decides to mess with Charles' car, hoping he'd crash and join her in the afterlife. But guess what? It's not Charles who ends up driving the car, it's Ruth. And you can probably guess what happens next. Bingo! Ruth dies in the crash instead of Charles. Now, if you thought that was the peak of the madness, oh, you're in a surprise. Ruth's ghosts come back to haunt Charles too. So now Charles is stuck with two ghostly wives, both fighting over him for a whole week. And for a whole week, these two bicker and battle it out. Well, Charles is caught in the middle. What started as a little supernatural pranks turns into a full-blown disaster, with everyone trying to outsmart each other. It's chaos, but in the best way possible. Desperate, he calls Madame Arcady to try and banish both spirits, but of course, these ghosts aren't going anywhere without a fight. And then, finally, Madame Arcady figures out that the only way to get rid of them is through Edith, Charles' mind, who, surprise, surprise, has her own spiritual power she didn't even know about. After some effort, they manage to send the ghost packing, but Madame Arcady gives Charles a final warning. Weird stuff might still happen around the house. She suggests he should move out. In the end, Charles says goodbye in his own sarcastic way, mocking the spirits before leaving the house. And yep, just as predicted, the poltergeist activity kicks in again, and Charles is out of there for good. That's the end of the Blithe Spirit. So, Blithe Spirit isn't just a ghost story. It's a smart, funny, and timeless comedy about love, jealousy, and the weird ways people deal with their past. And trust me, after watching it, you'll be glad that your exes cannot come back from the dead. That is exactly what happened in the Blithe Spirit by Noel Coward. And that's all from me. Ciao.